It's time for a brand new set of characters, a trio, a brand new Nickelodeon show, and it's been a while since I created these. These take a while to create, and trying to come up with the best ideas for these characters and these requests. And several of you out there are new. And one thing I like to do differently, outside of just covering the updates, streaming the game, and talking about the latest news or whatever updates they have going on for the game, I like taking the time to create ideas and other requests outside the interactions of my own movesets of how I think newer characters from all different types of shows can play for all of you. So I have several other requests, still a giant list to get through, and this was one of the toughest ones that I think I had the most trouble with, because it's not just one character, it's not two characters as a duo, it's a trio, and trying to come up with how each individual character can play. And I'll say all of the characters, each rock, paper, and scissors, they're gonna all have their own moveset. So this is the newest Nickelodeon show, and as you can see on the top screen right here, Mr. Krabs is the first DLC character. And I'll just say this before I get started: you don't have to watch the full video. You could just go down into the description to see what ideas I came up with, references and the episodes and things like that, and you could check out the full moveset in the description and let me know what you guys think of their chances of getting into the game, if you don't want to hear me talk too long, because I think this is going to take a while to go through and talk about each individual character so you guys can get to know them. It's their newest show, and I think they have a very high chance of getting picked in the next pass. Maybe they'll do two, maybe they'll do three. Never know. We don't know what their plans are, but I feel like they have the highest chance of getting into this game since it's getting advertised, and it's a brand new show that just recently started for Nickelodeon. So let me know what you guys think. So just like I said, all the moves and all the ideas I came up with for them for this trio is going to be in the description for you guys to read on if you want, and you can share your thoughts and chime in the comments if you want. And if you have a request, you can also drop some of the characters or a character that you would like to see me make a moveset for and some ideas for. So I have plenty of other characters that I've done in my playlist, so this isn't the first one I ever done, but this was definitely the more difficult one that I had, since it's three different characters. But what I like to do is share the backstory of these characters, and that way you guys can get to know them and see what they're about. And if you want to check out their show, you can hear her or his show, whatever character it is I'm talking about for a moveset. You can check out the show and see if it interests you, if you're interested in the character and watching the show and giving it a shot, depending on what your forte is or whatever. Even if it's not your cup of tea, you might be still interested in seeing what the character might be capable of for this game. But let's start with the backstory. So in short, rock, paper, scissors are all roommates that like to compete with each other. They joke around, they mess with each other, and when you go and watch the show, they always end up bonding with one another at the end of each show, at the end of the day. So they all live together in this apartment, and they're all roommates, and they all each have their own different personalities and what their interests are. And I'm gonna just scroll down and just share with you guys from my little notes of what they are and what they're like. So let's start with Rock. His dream is to be a model. He's the model type who always likes to look good and strike poses, and I utilized their personalities and their interests and what they really like to do from watching how they act and doing the research and watching episodes and clips to come up with ideas to fit their personality for this video and this request. And for Paper, he's the genius of the bunch, or basically the inventor or the science tech head of the group, of the trio. He's always working on stuff. He almost made me think of Donatello, but the difference between Paper and Donatello is that Donatello always completes his inventions and he doesn't make the mistakes that Paper always does, even though he's always trying to invent and work on stuff. Some things work and they end up exploding and turning into explosions. So I utilize that also to help me come up with some different ideas for him for his own mechanics and scientific adventures that's going to be some dangerous projectiles on the field. And now lastly, Scissors, he's the cool wannabe with a big ego. So you go and watch the show, he's the cool guy always trying to be cool and be seen. So he's that kind of person that fits his style. He likes to do stuff in style. He wants to be cool and be recognized. So that's all three of the characters' personalities. Just wanted to share that little backstory of what they're about and what each character is like for this trio that live together from the show Rock Paper Scissors. So now I'm going to start talking about the stages, and then we're going to get into the costumes, the taunts, and animations that I come up with, and then we'll finish with the moveset and an idea for a super to wrap up. So let's start with the stages. Only selected one, so I just ended up doing the apartment complex where Rock Paper Scissors apartment complex where they live. So as a stage idea, I thought in the background of their room where they watch TV and the furniture, they can have all the different things, all the different props featured in the background. They had a pizza, drinks place, the posters in the background that you can see in their room, in the living room where they can watch TV and stuff like that. All that stuff can be in the background where you can see a giant pizza and things like that. I'm just going to open up a little bit of the stages real quick. It makes me think of, I was thinking about Powder Toast Man stage for a little bit. Just with how they designed it, see how you can see all this different. It looks a lot different and it's much bigger, of course, and you can see the window from outside. But see how they have different things. And then a little bit of hardcore chores with the furniture. Put a giant table. We can just battle on a giant table with a box of pizza, and it can be realistic to pay homage to the show of what they have from their posters, the food, and things like that they have placed inside the living room, and the TV can be in the background as well. So I thought that would be nice to battle on top of a table. I don't think they have like a map like that, but I think the closest thing to it is the messy kitchen from Ren and Stimpy, basically Powder Toast Man stage. So that's how I ended up coming up with that as an idea for how the stage can be designed. So they can definitely take it from the show and then just design it from there. So that'll be nice. But there's no other stage that would be fitting other than where they live for their apartment complex. Now, it took a while to try to come up with the costume ideas and try to find things that could be suitable for them. So I put the costumes for Snow Day Gone Wrong, where they were out freezing and stuck in the middle of the cold. Rock had a purple hoodie, Paper was rocking a red hoodie, and then Scissors was wearing a green hoodie with a yellow tank top, since he likes to run hot. You see what I'm saying? So he likes to be cool and be stylish and things like that. So that could be something as a couple costume ideas. Some other ones that I added for my ideas: the Pirates costumes, where Scissors wears a red hat, Paper has a blue hat, and then Rock wears an eye patch from the pilot episode. So you guys will be able to spot that from there. And then my personal favorite that I would like to see them wear, the Jump Kit fighting gear, where Paper defeats an alien from the Paper defeats an alien invasion episode. It was at the beginning where it was Rock and Scissors doing the jump kit from their favorite video game. So I also designed that and slipped that into a moveset for part of their moves, for a synchronized move together for a jump kit. But I'll get into that when I start talking about the moveset in a little while. And then those are all the major costumes I could really select for this trio for Rock Paper Scissors. So now I'm gonna get into the taunts and animations. So just some ideas that I selected. Let's pick something. They can definitely have a lot of characters, but we'll just leave it on Mr. Krabs since he's the newest in latest edition for the DLC. So for the taunts and animations, I thought of an actual rock paper scissors taunt where they can jump out in the order that they do from the show's intro, from the theme song. So I used the theme song. If you go and watch and check out the theme song, look it up for rock paper scissors. I like that little intro that they have for the song. But when they come out on the theme song, they can use a taunt like that, and they'll just be able to call it their names, rock paper scissors. It'd be pretty cool. And then a winning animation that I thought of, a trios dance from the theme song intro that they can do. And I think they could just pull that right from the intro to be added as a unique winning animation taunt. And then a losing animation I came up with, I got from the Birthday Police episode when they were going to be arrested by the police during their birthday celebration. All of them could be handcuffed in birthday balloon handcuffs. So when they all lose, they can be all handcuffed and ready to be taken away or to be arrested. So, you beat them down, you win a match, and they're all handcuffed and ready to be taken away, just completely all tied up, or basically all handcuffed together. I thought that'll be a really cool animation for a losing animation, and you guys can check it out from the Birthday Police episode where you can see them all handcuffed. It'll be perfect for the losing animation for this trio. So I thought that could be some little ideas for taunts and animations that the developers can use. But now we're gonna move on to my favorite part, the moveset. This took a while to put together, just trying to make it match each character's personality between rock, paper, and scissors. So we're gonna start with paper first. And I try to make it silly and goofy, but also make it make sense for each character. So for this first move, paper covers rock. Paper can drop from above in sync with scissors and rock for one of their moves together. And then I gave paper, since he's an adventurer, for his individual move, a little exclusive move, being an adventurer and a scientist always working on stuff. Explosive potions, where paper can throw his latest experiments that explode on impact, and it'll reference the show and everything because everything he usually makes ends up always causing an explosion or just exploding. Right when he thinks he's successfully made something or made an invention, something new, they'll explode. But I don't think they have. It's just some of these characters. Yeah, Patrick throws the Krusty Krab table. And then Donatello has his own little projectile that he can hit with his pole style, but no one has any sort of explosions or explosives that they can throw at the enemy. She shoots fireballs for Azula, same with Reptar. She got her own rockets and things like that. There's no one that can throw explosives like that. And I thought Jimmy Neutron would have something like that, of that matter, but he doesn't. So paper can be the one that can have that for his own experiments to really be able to toss on the battlefield for those explosive those explosions, and for this experience that can explode on impact. So now we're gonna move on to scissors. So I came up with a scissors cut. So, and one thing I almost left out, you will be able to switch between rock, paper, and scissors to switch between them to see who's active. Depending on who's active, you'll be able to use their exclusive moves. Almost similar to how the Angry Beavers are since you can switch between Daggett and Norbert. You'll be able to switch between rock, paper, and scissors. So they're going to have their own moves. See how they both have them? How they designed them? Now, if the rock, paper, and scissors get into the game as a trio, you'll be able to swap between them. So if scissors is active on the field with his scissors cut, scissors can be able to dash across the screen, cutting through anyone in his way, and it'll go full screen. So you definitely don't want to just stand there. So he'll be able to dash across the screen, cutting through anyone in his way. And then something for his style and being cool, I gave him the coolest pose, where scissors is all about being cool with this move. So this stylish pose can knock back the closest enemy with force, but can leave him vulnerable. And I designed this idea, or came up with it, because I was thinking about Nigel with his smashing reference. I want something like that from Wild Over Smashing. With his little Thanos snap, I wanted to give Scissors something like that. And I think they can definitely do that with Scissors since he likes to be cool. With a nice little strong cool pose, he'll be able to do some monstrous damage to you if you let him hit you with this. But if he misses, he'll be vulnerable, so you'll be able to, start comboing him, just beating down on him. So I thought it'd be perfect because I was thinking about Nigel. So I thought it could be something that they can use to work with Scissors for his exclusive moves. Now we're gonna go to Rock. So since he loves modeling and things like that and looking great, I gave him this rock modeling ability where Rock can block and reflect all incoming projectiles. And it made me think of how Garfield can reflect projectiles and El Tigre can also reflect all incoming projectiles and reflect them. So both Garfield and El Tigre, I don't think anybody else can reflect projectiles or have some kind of reflecting projectile ability. Only El Tigre and Garfield can. So I gave Rock, with his rock modeling, he'll be able to block and reflect incoming projectiles with his fancy modeling expertise. His next move that I gave him is called Rock and Roll. So Rock can continuously roll through the competition. It can be manually controlled full screen on stage. It almost makes you think of that move Roll Out, but you'll be able to have just complete control with him of him, and you'll be able to just roll right into the opponents, and you will be able to jump with this move with the Rock and Roll. So he ain't just rolling and rolling and rolling. He can jump while he's rolling continuously with his Rock and Roll ability. So this might be a little bit dangerous and a little overpowered, so you might want to try to slow him down, but you will be able to stop him if you hit him with a projectile while he's in the middle of just rolling into you. So you can slow him down, stop him right into his tracks. So a trio special move that I wanted to give them, just like I was mentioning before with the jump kit costume that they were wearing, because they was practicing it from their favorite video game. The jump kit, the trio for Rock, Paper, Scissors can do 3 jump kits together in the order of their position on the field. And I got this from the Alien Invasion episode where they referenced the video games. So it's right at the beginning. You could be able to, you're right. If you look up this episode with the Alien Invasion episode, you'll be able to see them trying to practice this move. And I think this will be one of my favorite moves that I would like to use and see them implement if they get into the game out of everything else. So it doesn't matter who's active on the field between the trio. They'll all be able to attack you with 3 different jump kits. So you think you dodged one or you got away from one of them, you got 2 more jump kits that's gonna home in on you. So you gotta really watch out. And I think they'll really be dangerous with this move. 3 different jump kicks that can hit you, and then while you're controlling whoever you're active with on the field, you can be able to manually do their moves and still attack, while those other 2 jump kicks are buffering and just about to get ready to hit you. So you gotta watch out. So you got multiple threats and just multiple movements you're gonna have to be careful with and try to keep track of. So I think that'll be really cool to see. Now, last but not least, I came up with a trio for recovery move, a recovery move for each of Rock, Paper, Scissors for this moveset request, and I called this Race to the Battlefield. So since they always like to compete against one another, I think this will fit them I think this will fit them together. So they'll try to race each other and try to see who gets to the battlefield first. And you'll be able to you can also see this. It was some kind of clip that I ended up finding. I had to probably put it in here for my notes. But they were racing each other. But it was where Paper had a flying drone on his back, Scissors was riding a rhino, and then with Rock, he had fashion scarves to swing from like vines. It was a racing short, so I'll drop the link to it so you guys can see where I got this from, how I came up with this idea for each of their recovery. So I'll be able to link that in the description to reference it, so you guys can check out the racing short for rock paper scissors from the show to see how I came up with this recovery. And I think they can utilize this same thing to be added as a recovery move for this trio. Now, last but not least, we got our super move. It took a while to try to come up with something what they could possibly do. So I think I came up with this rock paper scissors. That's just the part of their super move where all characters are active at once and can damage all enemies on contact. Scissors can cut through the stage and go through obstacles. Paper can quickly whip up a giant explosive inventions, and rock can perform starstruck poses to create large waves to knock away all enemies. The player can also choose whoever they want to control while the other characters move in sync. So you're definitely not getting away from them. And one thing that's different that I wanted to get rock paper scissors with these supers in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, you only can use them and that's it. But you see the difference. SpongeBob he gets into the boatmobile and runs you over. That's it. Patrick just smashes you with the rock and that's the end of his super. Plankton causes self-destruct. Handsome Squidward, you know what I mean? Just different things like that. Gerald telling the story. you see what I'm getting at? All the supers just have a hit and one hit and one hit and then that's it. But you can't really control none of these characters, and I thought you would be able to control Aang and Coral when they hit that avatar state, because they both have their differences. They're both avatars. But I wanted to make this move unique for their super or their ultimate attack or final smash, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to make it unique so that way the player, you can be able to still move. So once you activate your super, you'll have manual control of your character and you'll have control of all of them together. So they're all going to hit you regardless, even if they don't hit you on contact, hit you with one of their moves. You don't get hit with an explosive, or you don't get hit with an explosive invention from paper, or you don't get cut down to size for scissors. They'll still be able to hit you if they even touch you. So you'll be able to control whoever you want to control on them just right away for a limited amount of time, and then until that slide bar goes down. That's something that I noticed that they did not utilize for this game yet. Not even Mr. Krabs. He just hooks you in, hook, line, and sinker, and just captures you. That's it. But none of the characters can be manually controlled with their super. So I wanted to do that for rock, paper, and scissors, so you could be able to control all of them. So I thought that'll be really awesome to see, and I don't know if it's overpowered, but I think that's something different that they can do with the upcoming characters, is change up the super where you can have control of them, even if, so you're not trying to worry about, oh, did you hit or miss with your super. You can activate the super and they take on a whole nother persona and just become super powerful for a limited amount of time, and you want to just stay out of their way as best as you can. So that's how I ended up designing the super. And something that stood out to me the most that I noticed, none of these characters have some kind of super mechanic like that where you can control them and wait until that slime bar depletes all the way, and then once it goes away, then they can go back to normal. So I thought this would be a perfect super move for this trio. But let me know what y'all think. I just want to just come out with a moveset today. I know it's been a while. It's just, it takes so long to put these together and trying to find the references and make the moves make sense to fit the character's personality and so much more. But I'm gonna also leave the link to the recovery move, or to the racing short that I came up with, that helped me come up with some kind of idea with how I think they can recover for some kind of recovery move and more. But all the moves that I talked about today and throughout this video will be in the description, and so much more. But let me know what you guys think. If you got a character request that you'd like to see for a moveset, let me know. I'm not going to be taking on multiple requests, so that way others get a chance to get their character in the spotlight for a moveset as well, so that way it's fair.